Good morning, na 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 na. Good morning, na 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 na. Good morning. The rest of my life's gonna start today. Hey, Inspired Tribe. Welcome to the Inspired Livestream. It is Tuesday, September 7th, 2021. Unbelievable, people. Unbelievable. 21. It's almost 10 years. It's almost 20 years since 9/11. It's pretty amazing how time has flown and passed. Welcome. We're healthy, we're wealthy, we're whole, we're free. That's the mantra of the Inspired Livestream. My name is Jean Nolan. This is my wonderful wife, Kristin Nolan, the wise voice behind the camera. She's also in the live chat, always, answering questions, giving out info, and always active, always infusing with inspiration, ideas, expansion, and all the good stuff. Thank you for tuning in. Let me see who's in the live chat. Let people jump on. Pure Water is here. Pure Soul. So we have a Purple Soul is here. I can't see well today. Carol is here. James is here. Welcome. Christian is here. Stuart. Cosmicality. Please wake up. Welcome, everyone. Christine is here. I already said. Emma is here. Welcome, everyone. Tiffany, good to see you. Stardust, Diamond, Stuart Rogers. Who else is here? Steve is here. Welcome from Pennsylvania. Let people know where you're tuning in from. Stefan is here. Mick is here. Paula, non-player character. Welcome, everyone, people, to a live stream that was kind of requested a lot of times over the past weeks and months. We get those comments a lot. We get those emails a lot. We get those messages a lot. And it's just something that we don't really pay much attention to on a daily basis, but we believe it's important, part of the journey. So we're going to talk about it. So today's live stream is about how to prepare for a Black Swan event. And first, we're going to dive into what is a Black Swan event quickly, and answer some unasked questions. I already hear some of your questions, but the first question is, what's a Black Swan event? It comes from the financial world, actually. And basically, there's three major characteristics. Difficult word. Three major features of a Black Swan event is, number one, that when it happens, it is unexpected, very unexpected. Number two, it has widespread and sometimes catastrophic consequences. And number three, in hindsight, a lot of people say, duh, of course this happened. It was kind of predictable, but no one saw it ahead of time. Ironically enough, we're kind of living through a Black Swan event, which started in the beginning of 2020. And it has some of those, of course, it has all of the features, but in terms of not being predictable, for quite a large number of people, it was predictable. But for the population at large, it was a classic Black Swan event, maybe the biggest Black Swan event to date in modern history, as in something happened that was unexpected for large numbers of people. It has widespread effects and consequences for all populations. And in hindsight, you could say, well, duh, was predictable. So I can already hear the Love and Light Brigade. Welcome. We love you guys. Love and Light Brigade says, well, why are you even talking about such a thing? Why are you manifesting a bad event? Why are you even thinking about those things? Well, first of all, we don't live in fear, and we're not scared. Second of all, we don't see disruptive events as bad. As a matter of fact, we know disruption is part of the changing and transformational process that we're in. So a disruptive event is absolutely something that we welcome, because we know it's needed, because simply in our experience, there is no transformation without a disruptive event. We always affirm that it's for the highest good of all, which is a natural thing, but we're not scared of that. And it's not something that we necessarily label as bad. It's also something that, as I said, is absolutely part of the process. So the second aspect of this is, why do you even focus on an event that might be bad or might be disruptive, might affect us all? And why would you prepare for something like that? And people always say, well, those preppers, they're kind of weird people. Well, you're all preppers. Each and every one of you, 99.9% are preppers. If you have a fridge and you have more food in there than you need for the current meal that you're going to enjoy in 5 minutes, you're a prepper, because you've just prepared for meals for the whole week or even a month. If you have a pantry, you're a prepper. If you have a closet with clothes that will prepare you for a season that's to come, you are a prepper. If you have any of those things, you, my friend, are a prepper, whether you realize it or not. You just think your level of prepping is absolutely normal and not fear-based, and a bigger level of preparing is fear-based. So let's get that out of the way. Let's talk a little bit about what that focusing on that means in terms of a manifestation aspect. We all, in our work, because everyone that's here in one way or another desires change in your own life. And most of us desire change in the collective as well, because we see how good it could be. We see in certain areas of life how good it already can be. And we have a vision for a world that simply lives in a much better, healthier, more harmonious way. So because we all send out those desires constantly, because we do our part in that, because we're active in that in all areas of our lives, we create an energy field, and we co-create such events. And when I say that, it's, of course, no one sits down and thinks, well, hopefully some tragic natural event or financial crash or economic event happens. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it's the unfolding of those desires that takes place in ways we sometimes don't expect, because we're not really in control of the house. And so a black swan event can be anything from a big financial event. In today's world, there are so many factors that are, unsure, unstable, out of balance, simply because we're in such a time of transformation. I mean, look at a perfect example, something that I don't even know if it hit mainstream media today, but I heard it this morning, that a guy that's one of the top terrorists in the world, that's on the FBI watch list, and that's been at large for a long time, has now been nominated the interior minister of the new government in Afghanistan. So you now have top terrorists in high positions in government of other countries. So just an example of a factor for instability, a factor for potential threats. Well, that's just in times that we live in. But I want to emphasize, before we go into the preparation part, these things, as unreal as they seem in our times, and as frustrating as they seem to us a lot of times, especially how long things take and how we would love for things to go faster, it's just the nature of this process of change and transformation. I always bring it back to the earth. I bring it back to my own body, to my own experience. When I am changing, when I'm, for example, detoxing, there's a lot of uncomfortable stuff that happens, right? From headaches, sweating, maybe even fever, maybe flu-like symptoms, all of which is actually a positive sign of what's happening, but it manifests as something that is very uncomfortable in the moment. So that's kind of to give us a perspective. Now, how do we actually prepare for events like that? Some of these are no-brainers, but people are oftentimes so afraid to think about these things that they rather say, oh, nothing bad's going to happen. And again, what if you wouldn't label it as bad? What if you would label it as same as snowstorm, or same as thunderstorm, or same as, I don't know. I mean, we had a completely avoidable, stupid toilet paper shortage last year, the big toilet paper shortage of 2020, right? But I mean, some people were ready, totally fine. Some people ran out of toilet paper and suffered the consequences. So look at this as filling up your fridge in anticipation of a long weekend, holiday weekend, and stores are closed. So that's kind of how we look at this. And there will be black swan events. There will be disruptive events in all areas, whether that's a power outage, internet outage, or both at the same time, whether that's some sort of natural event, whether that's some sort of political crisis. I mean, these things are now bound to happen because we're in this time. So let's dive into it. Number one, we put this together a long time ago. Every now and then we're going through this and refreshing it. But one of the things that people don't think about, and to us is the most important thing, is family communication. It's we had an event last year where at Christmas there was a bombing in Nashville, which is just 20 minutes from here, and it disrupted the communication network, the internet network, and all those things. We still were able to communicate, so it wasn't totally down, but it was on the verge of or not functioning for hours at a time, half a day at a time. And so it's important to have a contingency plan for, usually the family spreads out over the day, right? People go to work, people go to school, other activities, so everyone's somewhere. And our plan has always been, if there's an event that's unexpected that affects us all in what way, shape, or form, whatever, we always had the plan, find your shortest way back home. Don't try to call, don't try to if at all possible, find your shortest way back home. That was our family plan. That was the best we could come up with everything that was going on. We would suggest that you speak with your family members. What happens when communications go down? Power goes out. What happens if the internet goes down and you can't communicate? What is the plan? How do people find each other? Figure that out. Sit down, make a plan. That's part of the things that, we've done. Number two, no-brainer, essentials, right? The essentials that you need, food, water, again, hygiene products. Look at those bare minimum essentials. At least have 4 weeks, of non-perishable food. What happens when the power goes out? The fridge doesn't work. It's hot, it's cold, whatever. Think about that. And there's wonderful already ready-made stuff. Of course, you can do it yourself, but at least 4 weeks of non-perishable food. And we will go, after we go through the points, we'll go to a few simple reasons as to why this is so important. So that's something. Just go, again, sit down, think about essentials that you need. Food, water are two complete essentials. Some hygiene products, I mean, you can live without them, not very comfortably, but you can live without them. Think about those things, plan ahead, make some room, make some space. And especially in today's world, it doesn't have to break your budget to get 4 weeks worth of non-perishable food. That's actually, in most cases, it's pretty doable on a very, very small budget. Another thought, power. Requires power. Is it later? Are we? Come on, YouTube. You can sit in and listen too. You don't have to mess up the live stream here. Is power essential? Do you need a generator? Do you need gas, right? Is there essential trips that you need to make? Take care of other family members, have a few gas cans, maybe, stuff like that. Think it through. Think through what would happen if I was without this for a day, a week, a month. What things can you go without? What things can't you go without? It's all personal preference, right? Think also about when it comes to power, how does your heating work? Is there other source of heating if it's wintertime? Summertime cooling, it's almost impossible in certain areas of the world to stay cool without air conditioning. So think about those things and what's important. Number 4, do you need medicine? Maybe you're diabetic. Some of those things, think how much stock do you have if something happens, if you can't get to it, if supply chains, and this is something that is it's not a fear-mongering scenario. Supply chain disruptions are already happening large scale. It's just not showing yet on the shelves as much, but they're happening up in the supply chain. So this will trickle down to the shelves in the stores very quickly. This is it's planned. It's been planned simply and easily. So what are you going to do, right? Are you going to stock up on the essentials that you need or not? That's just a question. An opportunity Another possibility is gardening. What can you prepare? Do you have a winter garden, a greenhouse? Think about those things too. There's something you want to set up, gives you more independence, gives you more good stuff, more things that you need. Another important thing that people in good times usually don't pay as much attention to, especially when everyone's really busy. Do you have any kind of community around you? Your neighbors, the people around you? Do you know the people? Is there some sort of connection? People that you vibe with, people that you can actually talk to in such an event, help each other. Uh, you know, it's not just some um, as a necessity or out of a necessity thing to reconnect with the people around us more, and be more of a community rather than just lone wolves. um, then another thing that might be important is a safe storage for documents, right? Where do you have your most important documents that you need, might need? Is there a place where you can store them, where they're safe from water, safe from fire? Think about those things as well. Essentials, right? Also, when it comes to this, today, a lot of that is stored digitally. So you might have it on your computer, you might have it on some cloud, but do you have it on a hard drive, an external hard drive that you can take anywhere, and plug into another system and get whatever you need? For example, right, if you own cryptocurrency, it might be a good idea to have an offline wallet, uh, just in case, to have that stored up there. I mean, it has proven very beneficial to people in the past. Just a list of things to go through. Something also that's very important, to have some cash on hand. Um, in the past crises, or when such events happened, a lot of times it caught people off guard. Everyone's shopping with cards, everyone's just holding up their phone and scan shit. You might need and want some cash on hand, and we would suggest to not have $100 bills, because in situations like that, uh, you know, uh, a piece of bread or whatever might cost you then $100. Have it in small bills, or whatever your currency is, euros or whatever else. Have it in small bills so you can trade and barter and do stuff like that. Of course, there were events in the past where money literally lost its worth. I remember a time. My parents grew up in socialist Yugoslavia. I was born in socialist Yugoslavia, but then we moved away. But at any rate, there was a time, my dad always told me, when they went to the store to buy bread and milk, um, with a wheelbarrow, and they would literally put all the money in there and buy bread and milk with all that money, because there was such high inflation. So, um, in that case, what has always proven to have some worth is gold and silver. Of course, you don't want to have the huge gold bars. You want to have small weights, very small coins or whatever that would help you in such an event. Now, this might sound like, as I said, fear mongering, but it's not at all. It's actually simply preparation, like we talked earlier. Now, the beautiful thing here is, this is not something that you do all the time, and you do it for weeks on end and months on end, and you think about it and you come up with scenarios. It's a thing where you sit down, you make a list of things that are important, you prepare, you get ready, and then it's off your mind. Then you can focus on whatever else. And this is what I meant to say. We focus on positive co-creation. We focus on positive transformation. We focus on helping people, facilitating change, empowering people, healing, inspiring. Those are our main focuses. But we did go through this list ourselves, and we did make preparations. And it's not something that we talk or think about every day, but it's not something that we fear at all. It's just something that we took care of.
You forgot seeds.
Seeds. That's when it came to the gardening.
And maybe a water filter system, like
Thank you.
The Berkey water filter system or something like that.
Thank you. I thought about it, but didn't write it down. And of course, my wonderful, wise and smart wife reminded me. Seeds, something, a long-term thought. Also, if you are, if you have a garden, if you are growing your own food, to preserve the seeds, they're going to purify from year to year to year and get better and better and better. And to have seeds, and it's also something that you can then share if needed. And when we say water, usually people have some way of either finding rainwater, finding some sort of creek or river or body of water, but usually that water is not clean enough to, to drink it. So we have a simple gravity filtration system. It's the Berkeley Pro Pure filter system. It's very simple. You put water in the top canister, and it filters through. It's gravity, doesn't need electricity, something that where you can anything, literally, it filters out all the chemicals, the fluoride, everything. You can put any kind of water in there, and clean water is going to come out. So those are very, very important things to have and consider. Whatever happens, I think we're so it's an independence thing too. Whenever it does happen, you are then not at the mercy of a government agency to provide some sort of relief or help. You're not at the mercy of friends and family to feed you. You are independent and self-reliable. And what's beautiful, you can actually use the energy and help people, because that's what in these events is always required: help, emotional support, of course, physical support with whatever. You are then a leader in that situation, because you don't have to figure out where your next meal is going to come from. How are you going to feed your family, because you took care of those things? And if in 2021, in the situation that we're in this huge transformational process, you haven't started thinking about those things, it's high time. This is a peace of mind thing, as I said before. It's off our minds. We don't think about it, but we get a lot of questions on how to prepare. Think about that too. What does an internet outage do? What of your services or products that are essential are fully digitalized for you? Are all your prescriptions, if you need some, on your phone? Is it something you do digitally? Is that the only way that you know how to do things? Think about those things. Think them through. There should be an analog, natural way for everything that is digital now. You should have an alternative that allows you to function and exist and live, even if that does not work. We didn't pick this time. Something big coming up tomorrow. We picked this because and apparently it puts people in a fearful state if they think about it. As we said, we are not fearful about it. We see this as a natural way, a disruptive process that creates change, and we actually want positive change. What we really don't want is for the world to go on as it has been for such a long time. So a short topic for those of you who have financial assets. You probably know everything there is to know. For these kind of events, it's probably always best to be quite diverse. So you have your money in different things, invested in different things. As you all know, hard assets, something like land, real estate. Of course, the classics, gold is always something that it keeps its value, at least over time, even if short term things go down, but it keeps a certain basic value, something of real, as opposed to today, even though it's hard to imagine that cryptocurrencies are going to go away just because so many systems are now built on that. But it's still something that you cannot touch, you cannot see. And in a world that, for whatever reason, doesn't have power, doesn't have internet, I mean, nothing you can eat, nothing you can drink, nothing you can. So just something to keep in mind. Think about those things. Allow yourself. If that's something you are fearful of, then it's high time to face that fear. And the beautiful thing is, when you go through that and you actually look the fear in the eye, you will see, oh, this is just a matter of me actually thinking about it, of me actually allowing myself to go through these scenarios, make choices, and be confident that those choices, will support me when the time comes. So again, also to those who say you should never focus on such things, I believe you all have jackets. I believe you all have shoes. You all might have an umbrella. You all might have some sort of protection against weather or whatever. So we're all prepared for something. Yes, tribe. That's pretty much it. A beautiful thing. Save this live stream, just save it to a playlist or come back to it. We have a playlist that you can always go through with all the live streams. Send this, share this with your friends and family, and just go through the list. Just take care of that stuff. It's a matter of a few days, a week maybe. Another thing, I did put that on a list, but I forgot. See, think about something like emergency radio or CB. That's usually where you need to get information, stuff like that. That might be a thing. Emergency radios are very, very inexpensive to get. CB also pretty inexpensive to get. Something that you can just look up, learn a little bit, read your way through it, get some peace of mind. And then when something does happen, you are a leader for your community. You can lead the way. So, Inspired Tribe. Kristin is saying goodbye. Yes, Kristin is saying goodbye. She's got a client. But last but not least, before we log off for today, I wanted to thank you all who reached out to us to become practice clients for our Inspired Junior Coaches. We have a coaching academy where we teach wonderful people how to become coaches themselves. And they're in the last trimester of that academy now, and always looking for practice clients, people to, they will help you. They know a great deal now. They have a lot of practices. Now is the time where they can practice with people really good at this. So if you feel inspired, if you need help with anything, if you want to create change in your life, if you want to thrive, any of those things, then you could become a practice client right now. It's still free of charge. There is a commitment that anyone who reaches out, it is a commitment to show up, to do the work, and to be respectful of our coach's time. It means to honor appointments, stuff like that. Even though it's free of charge, that's very important to us. But we have junior coaches that would love to help you. So if you feel inspired, send us an email to 365inspiredliving@gmail.com, and we will facilitate the connection with the coaches. And yeah, then a coach will reach out to you and schedule your appointment. Usually, if it's not in your town, sometimes that might be the case. It won't be in person. It will be via Zoom or video call, and anymore. They will be ready to go out, fully educated, experienced, and they'll charge. So that's coming up. Also, for the last few slots available at the Yado retreat, we want to invite you September 30th till October 3rd in Port St. Joe, Florida. It's going down, or Cape San Blas, Florida, to be precise. The Yado, the You Are the One retreat. Kristin and I are doing this year for the first time a retreat in North America. We're excited about it. So if you feel like creating a big energy shift in your life, something that will be beyond what you've experienced before, beyond what you've done before, it will be at the edge or out of your comfort zone, we can promise you, but in a very, very good way. We'll create an energy shift that will allow you to create the changes that you want in your life. And we will have a beautiful, beautiful experience in a beautiful environment over 3.5 days, do some amazing stuff together. So if that speaks to you, and if you haven't signed up yet, we have a few slots left. We'd love to have you. Check out the link that's on the top of the live chat, where all our links are. And when you click on it, on top, you'll see the Yada retreat. Click on it, read your way through it, feel your way through it. And if this speaks to you, if you're inspired, join us and sign up for it. So, Tribe, we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you for hitting the like button. And again, share this with friends and family. Peace of mind to first and foremost go there in your mind, and then just prepare, let go, live your life, co-create. Beautiful things are coming. We love you. Thank you for being with us. And we will be here again on Thursday, 2 p.m. Central, right here on the Inspired channel.